I'll do a piece to camera, that's what they call it in the biz. Okay, we're going to do our Jonah story. Here we go. Good luck, everybody. Jonah knelt down to pray as he had done many times. In his most sincere, serious, prayerful, but slightly high voice, he said,
God, what's on the schedule today?
God replied with a deep cough and a loud voice.
Jonah, I want you to go to Nineveh and preach my word.
Jonah looked shocked, really shocked, more shocked than he had ever looked before, and said,
But I hate Nineveh.
God said in an even deeper voice than before,
You must go. I'll see you there.
Jonah tossed and turned that night in bed. He didn't want to go to Nineveh. In fact, he wasn't going. No, not this time. He'd obeyed God many times before, yes, but this time he was making the decisions. He decided he was going to go in the opposite direction and headed to Joppa to find a ship bound for Tarshish. On reaching the port, he found a sailor and said in a very high, nervous voice. The sailor had a mean, scowly face, and in a gruff, rough, American, deep South accent, he said,
Yeah, want a ticket?
Jonah was a little scared and stuttered his answer.
Yes.
They got on the ship and everything was okay for a short period of time until it started to get rather cloudy. The gentle pitter-patter of the rain grew to a loud, torrential downpour. I was swallowed by the howling of the wind, which was followed by the rumbling of thunder, which was followed by a crash of lightning, which was followed by... The boat began to rock and roll, not like the Beatles, but like a ship that was about to sink. The sailor stood up and in his loud, gruff American voice shouted,
We're all gonna die. Goodbye, cruel world.
Jonah stood up and shouted at the top of his voice over the noise of the wind and rain in a higher pitched, whiny voice. And with a voice like that, I'm not surprised they threw him. All the sailors picked him up and shouted, 1, 2, 3. He landed in the water and immediately the sea was calm. Jonah, however, was not. He had a minute of breath left in his body before he floated away dead, never to be seen again. Buried at sea, without a body bag. In his heart, he prayed to God.
Lord, this is a bad deal. If possible, can you give me a second chance?
He suddenly felt a strange presence over his shoulder. Not an angel, Darth Vader or his grandma. No, this was a gigantic mouth. Jonah was swallowed by an enormous whale. Everybody gasped. After Jonah had slithered down into his stomach, the whale burped and said in a whaley kind of voice,
Yo, have you been eating garlic?
Jonah ignored the whale and was suddenly struck by the power of God. God had given him another chance. God was in control of the weather, the sea, the animals. In fact, suddenly, Jonah realised that God had seen him pack his backpack, lock his front door, ride his camel to the port, get on the ship and experience the storm. Jonah sat up in the belly of the whale and said quietly, with all his heart,
God, you never left me. You loved me when I disobeyed. Wow. Wow.
There was a silence as Jonah realised how big God was and how small he was. And in an even quieter voice, almost a whisper, he said,
God, please forgive me.
As soon as he said this, the whale burped again. It was a really long burp and said in a sickly, vomity whale voice,
Ooh, I feel like vomiting. It must be something I ate.
With that, he projectiled the contents of his stomach, which was pretty much Jonah, some fish, and an Oreo packet onto the beach. A beach that had a sign that said Nineveh, 56.5 miles. Jonah never doubted God's love again. He was a changed man. He went to Nineveh and preached the gospel. And even though he still had a lot to learn, he knew that the Lord would never leave him or forsake him again. He was truly loved, even when he disobeyed. Bow, bow, bow.